All right. So on that note, I
I'm
can
going to put a link in. I'll put it on our socials.
Okay, so just give me a sec. You can hear me, right?
Yeah, perfectly.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Here, who?
So I'm just seeing if it's going live. It should be. And as soon as I see that it's live, and it is, I'm going to switch over to this to warn everybody that it's for people who are mature.
Also, I can swear. Good.
Yeah.
Excellent. That's part
We
of the
would be
normal vocabulary.
We'd be so
And
stuffed
we're
if we couldn't swear.
live. We are live.
Okay. On that note, then. All right. So,
Oh,
guys. Oh, here's Jed. Hey,
There's
Jed.
Jed, just in
Hey,
time.
just in
Jed,
time.
yay.
Good man.
Yay.
Jed is still connecting to audio. Jed can now hear us, or will be able to any second now. And 1 and 2. And Jed, can you hear us?
Yes.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Hey, Jed.
All right. And Jed, were you able to follow the link to Foundry?
I have not clicked it yet. I'm doing so now.
Perfection. Okay, so I guess because Doug is streaming it, we have to do streaming, not steaming. Sorry. We have to go around and introduce ourselves. So, hi, I'm Thomas. I am going to be the GM. I'm just going to be running through character creation and hopefully a little bit of play, but that'll be a bit dependent on how long it takes us to get through the character creation phase, which can go really fast if we just randomize it, because there's a lot of random option stuff in the rules that takes out all the thinking, particularly on things like names, which, I've seen players spend 15 minutes on. So that's me. Pete, let's go to you, bud.
Hi, I'm Pete. I'll be one of the players. I'm really, really new to this system, so I'm looking forward to it. Really, really liked the third Horizon version of the Coriolis, so see how this goes.
Cool. John?
Yeah, I'm also completely new to this, but I've played a lot of the old Coriolis and really love it. So this will be very interesting to see.
Cool. Matthew?
Hello, I'm Matthew. I'm one half of the Effect podcast, which of course started with Coriolis and the Coriolis Effect. But this is the first time I've played this new system as well.
Jed?
Hi, I'm Jed from the States, and I have never played any version of Coriolis, but I have played quite a few of the Year Zero engine games, so I'm looking quite looking forward to this.
And last but certainly not least, Doug.
Hi, I'm Douglas. I am the Reluctant Artsy, and I am streaming this thing, and that is amazing if I can be heard. So I will be looking over this way to just make sure that I can be heard. Other than that, I led 2 different groups of youth with Coriolis, and so that was a very good experience. And so that's the third Horizon, and I'm looking forward to this.
Okay. So everyone should be able to see a character sheet with their name on it in Foundry. If you cannot see a character sheet with your name on it, or I have given you the wrong character sheet with your name, as in the wrong name, which is quite possible, please feel free to change the name of the character to match your name. But does everyone have the ability to open a character sheet and see said character?
I have a character sheet called Matthew.
Awesome.
Which I assume is
that
mine.
is winning. Right there. Tick.
Done.
Jed, you good? Awesome. You're on mute, but all good. John, I assume you've navigated Foundry 50 million times, so assumably you're good. Pete, you can see your character. You already said so. Doug, can you see your character? Awesome.
It's
okay.
Popped out and everything.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is run through character creation. So just on the note that a few people haven't really read anything about the Great Dark other than the highly opinionated sharings on the Effect Discord. let's just quickly go through the setting. So, 200 years ago, there was a great war in the Third Horizon, which is the earlier setting. That great war was fought between the three great powers. So, the First Horizon, or Al-Ada, which was basically a weird sort of combination of narcissism and single hive mind kind of environment. The Second Horizon, who at first glance were lovely, kind, spiritual people who were also willing to commit mass murder to win the war, and various powers and factions of the Third Horizon who fought on either one or both sides or against both sides. A great fleet of peoples fled that war and headed out into the Great Dark, or the Deep as it is known, seeking to find paradise somewhere else that would be free of such conflict. They travelled for 12 years using a combination of deep sleep and portal jumps to make their way to the great planet, to the great system of Jamara. When they got there, they discovered that the beacon that they had been following had shut down even as they arrived. The portal itself was corrupted and unusable, and they found themselves trapped in a single system that had no specifically habitable planet. They built a civilization on a giant asteroid known as the Ship City, decommissioning and deconstructing ships as they went. For almost 150 years, they were trapped in this place until great scientists discovered the slipstreams that carried ships at great speed through the systems that make up the Lost Horizon. And from that point on, they have been sending out explorers using these things known as great ships and I think ship cruisers to explore the rest of the systems. The portals are dangerous, deadly, and mostly shut down. In the process, they discovered something called the Blight, which for many of the older families who remember their history has become synonymous with the Great Dark that threatened, or the darkness between the stars, that threatened them in the Third Horizon. For others, it is simply a disease. For others, it is some sort of technological virus. For others, it is corruption cursed upon you for your fallen nature and your sinful activities. You are a band of explorers. The point of this game is that you go out into the dark, you dig up the ruins of ancient civilizations that predate the arrival of at least your fleet by 50,000 years or more, in some cases far greater time periods. Those ruins are infected with the Blight, with monsters and constructs, and the purpose of your exploration is fundamentally twofold. One is to find the resources necessary for your civilization to continue to operate. You are the heroes of your civilization. You go forth and find the resources that allow things like the Ship City to continue to operate and survive. And you do it for money. For this is the one way that you can make a buck and continue to survive in this highly dangerous and poorly supplied environment. Much of the equipment that you use is rebuilt, rehashed, and altered. So, to do said delving, as they call it, you need a group of fellow travelers who have specific skills, sometimes good skills, sometimes not so good skills. As you explore these ruins, there are 5 key roles. So what we're going to start with is sorting that bit out, and he says as he finds the right one. There we are. Okay. So, in the rules as they are written, you go through the whole making up your character bit, and then you do the making up your crew bit. Which doesn't make a lot of sense when the whole point of the game is to build a crew to go delving. So what I'd actually like to do is flip that on its head. get you guys to sort of agree what roles you want to play within the crew, what you want the crew to be as a constituting element, and then you can at least tailor your characters to fit those roles to a greater or lesser extent. You can, of course, be rubbish at your job. I do want to defend the option of being rubbish at your job as an option. I don't want you to feel bound to min-max your character to be the best scout, for instance, that there has ever been. You can be a rubbish scout who's gotten a job by being the cousin of one of the other characters. That would be a completely legitimate, choice. Of course, it might end in the death of the entire party, but that's exactly what happens when you get the cousin of one of the people who says, no, he's good for it, buddy. He's absolutely good for it. And then you discover not so much. Many a heist movie revolves around this storyline. So the first thing you're going to do is describe and name your crew. Then you're going to roll or choose for your bird. Didn't talk about birds. For those of you unaware, you'd be completely stuffed in exploring the Blight if it wasn't for these biomechanical constructs known as birds. They are definitively biomechanical. They are not natural creatures. They have been found all around the Lost Horizon in these storage containers. They have a particular set of abilities to both detect and, for a short period of time at least, ward against the Blight. And they are vital to your exploration. Each bird has its own personality. However, they will only act when directed by one of the group, who is normally a nominated person, because you need to be good at particular things to control your bird well. The third thing we're going to do is name your shuttle. And then we're off and running on creating your characters, which will then take us back to the beginning, where there's a bit of random rolling. So you roll your origin. So where did you start? Then you choose your profession. You choose your speciality. So professions are things like artist, soldier, and so forth. You distribute your attribute points. You've got 24 points to spread across 6 stats. Unlike most Year Zero engine games, but not all. So I'm particularly thinking of Things from the Flood, Electric State, Tales from the Loop, all of which follow this motif. There are no skills. There are only stats. You then will calculate all your stats. Then you get some more talents. Just to explain talents very quickly, talents are similar to skills, more specific. If you've had a look at the talent set in, say, Twilight 2000, it's a bit more like that, where they give you specific bonuses for specific things that you do. So they're like subtypes of skills, for want of better language. You then get to choose a quirk, which is the thing that makes you, makes you special, and puts everyone else at risk. Then you choose some equipment, and then you get to roll on why you became an explorer. And then we get going, as I've said in my chart. I would be sharing all this, but I'm worried, Doug, that it blows up what you've done to position us all around the thing if I start sharing PDFs.
No, you can do that on Zoom because I have already thought about that.
Oh, good. Okay, well then I will share because that will actually be much better. I want this one.
But I won't. But we won't be able to see what's on the Foundry screen, just what's on the Zoom screen.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
Tell me if you can see everything I just described.
I'm just gonna have to pull this down.
I'm mostly talking to other folk. Pete.
Oh,
yep.
John, can you guys all see my PDF with the flowchart on it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Feel free to open up your character sheets. Well, actually, sorry. Does anyone have the crew? Did I share? I didn't make it yours, did I? Configure ownership. Hold on. This will help. Let's make
I've got the page with the crew up because that's what you were talking about starting with.
Yeah.
Page 25 of the PDF.
And I've just made you all able to see the crew character sheet on Foundry.
Where is that?
Yep.
it's on page 25.
Under PCs. Don't ask. I should have
PC.
also
Oh,
picked
yeah,
that.
there it is now. Okay.
I blame myself for my failure as a human being at this point. Okay. Hopefully you're still able to see the PDF, even though I just moved it.
Yep.
Good. Okay,
Yeah.
awesome, because now I can see everything, which is super useful. Okay, so describe and name your crew. Okay, so the first thing is there are 5 roles, which is perfect for this group. There is the Delver, who leads the way into the ruins, choosing the paths into the dark. There is the Scout, who discovers the dangers hidden in the distance. There is the Burrower, who blows things up. There's the Guard.
Sounds like a bit of me.
Yep, who shoots things that come at them out of said dark. And there's the archaeologist who reads weird and wondrous glyphs, goes mad, and hopefully drags the rest of the party into a celebration of the Great Dark just before it eats them all.
Hey.
You know, so many options for death. The things to pay attention to is whatever role you choose, and sorry for the terrible text. I did obviously cut this out using another product, and it hasn't necessarily translated the fonts particularly well. But
He's not.
so delvers need to be focused on that agility and insight combination. Burrowers need to be focused on strength and logic. Scouts need to be focused on perception and logic. Guards need to be focused on strength and perception. And archaeologists need to be focused on logic and insight. The starting maneuvers I would need to go and read because I haven't actually read them. But broadly speaking, I think the names will give you a sense of what they're going to do. Rally is getting everyone organised. Destabilize, particularly for the Burrow, will be about being more effective at blowing things up. Situational awareness for the Scout will be just awareness around what's going on everywhere, and particularly not being surprised by ambushes. Guard flank will be either getting someone else into position or getting themselves into position to take advantage of flanking something. And archaeologists will get a bonus for trying to solve the issues of icons and other things that they discover. Okay, so noting the humour, does anyone have a particular desire to sort of play any of those roles in the group?
I have 2 that I don't particularly want to play.
Matthew?
Go, Matthew. Who don't
I'm
you
not
want to
particularly interested in being the Delver or the Burrower, but the Scout, Guard, and Archaeologist are all tempting me.
All right.
So there's 2 there that jump out to me as roles that sound like fun. Borrower and Guard for me sound like fun, but I'll play any role if people want those 2 roles.
John? Doug?
Yeah,
I'm
John.
open.
John?
I'm open for any role, no problem.
Okay. Doug, anything call you?
I actually spent a long time reading last night and today, and so I think that I'd like to be the archaeologist.
Okay. And then finally, but not last, Jed, anything call your name?
I'm pretty easy. I heard somebody say that they thought they were going to be the Burrower, but maybe I misunderstood.
No, that is true. Pete did indicate a desire to be the Burrower.
Yeah.
Blows things up, right?
Correct.
Yeah, the fun stuff.
Yeah. So I don't know.
So do you want to put me down as the archaeologist since nobody else seems to want that? Does that sound fair?
Sure.
Sounds like
okay.
me.
So, and then Pete, unless anybody objects, is the Burrower? Right?
Yep.
Yeah, it works for me.
And then Matthew wanted to either be the Scout or the Guard if the archaeologist wasn't available.
Oh, you wanted to be the
those 2.
No, I thought he wanted to be the Delver.
No,
I didn't want. I said I didn't want to be the Delver or the Burrower.
Did you want to be the archaeologist?
all of the other 3 roles, apart from those 2, interested me to some degree. But if you want,
Okay.
you want to be the archaeologist, I'm entirely happy. I think out of those 2 that are left, I kind of fancy being the scout, I think.
Okay. So Jed and John, Delver or Guard? Jed, why don't you make first choice?
I guess I will. Well, John, didn't you say you had 2 options you were interested in?
John
No,
was
I was
specifically open to
open for-
all.
So I'm happy with any of them.
All right. Then I'm going to roll a die. 1, 2, 3 is Delver. Guard. I'm the guard.
Okay.
Yep.
And John,
I'm
you
the
will
Delver.
be the Delver.
Nice.
Okay. So, you will all have access to a fusillade pistol, a backpack, and
So,
your choice of a light or standard delving suit.
So we each get one of these.
Yeah, this is standard equipment for all
Right.
of you, so you
Okay.
all have these things.
It's not
so
shared equipment like it is in Electric State.
That-
Cool.
That is correct. This is not shared equipment. You have these things. I will create the equipment
okay, great.
a little bit later. Well, actually, if you want to create it, I've got the weapons stuff sorted. I can share that and the armor. Hold on. Because none of you were on when I was creating it, I need to make you all aware of it. There we go. Let me make configure ownership decisions for all of you, so you can all.
So we all have a pistol. We all have backpack and light, or this is all on page 25 if anybody at home is following along. But it's also, of course, right there on page 25.
Yeah, and to be really simplistic about the difference between light and standard delving suit, the light delving suit gives you less protection but does not hamper your movement, and the standard delving suit gives you slightly more protection and does hamper your movement. So it's ultimately a choice of, do I want to lose that dice when I'm rolling agility checks to do certain types of things, or for the reward or better protection against the blight and stabs. They're not much good at protecting you and stabbing. They're much more focused on the blighting.
We put that under. Oh, hold on, I've done that wrong.
Well, you can just put it in
Is that
notes for
armor?
now.
Does that count for armor?
It does. It definitively
Okay.
is armor. And
Okay.
actually, there's the standard and the heavy under the equipment tab, which is the items tab. If you open that up, you should be able to see the armor folder. And if you open that up, you should be able to see the light and the standard delving suits, which you can just drop on your character sheet.
Done.
Um,
So that's done. And weapons, you opened up
that one.
ranged. Thank you.
Oh, I see. Weapons. Been busy. Range weapons. Fusillade pistol. Oh, I haven't got a fusillade pistol.
I guess that's
it's under
pistol.
fusillade weapons. Oh, everyone's got a fusillade pistol. And if you go into ranged weapons and then the folder called, oh, hold on, is that nested?
No, I've got a Collier carbine, a Collier rifle.
There should be a folder. Sorry, let me fix that problem now. There you go. There should be something that's just popped up with
fusillade weapons.
Fusillade weapons. Pop that open and you'll see the fusillade pistol is in there.
Cool.
I have not created all of the items or equipment, so there will be some that will need to be created. For instance, the base climbing kit, the deep scanner, and the worn copy of the glyphs. I don't believe I have.
And where do I talk about my supply?
It's actually usually just write it as a note for now, because the supply you're carrying, that is normally treated at the group level. I think. Yeah, that sounds right. Yes. Anyway, we'll deal with supply when we go delving, which we will probably not be doing today, so we can park that one for now. All right. Okay, so if you've broadly got your equipment sorted out, and it's okay if we go and fix it up later, The next thing to ask is, what do you want to call yourselves? What name springs to mind? Now, there's some examples. You can choose one member of the group. We haven't done your group names yet, which makes that a bit awkward. We don't have to do the name now, actually. The name I'm least worried about. I was more worried about you choosing your roles. So do you want to do the name at the end when you've all made up your characters and you've got a bit of a better vision for, what sort of people you actually are?
Sure.
I think that works.
All right, nice. And of course, you have a bird. Right, so bird. There are 3 types of birds: wards, guides, and spectres. Wards protect you. Guides are better at the searching, sniffing out problems. Spectres are right on the wavery edge of supernatural, as in they can do lots of weird things. They're not as good at the first 2 jobs, but they have additional talents and capabilities that go with that. Your bird is part of your crew, so you'll note that you've already got an entry for your bird on the crew sheet. If you click on the bird tab, you'll see it there. I haven't given it a name. At the moment, it's untitled. Now, we can just roll if you want to just leave it to the gods, or if you have a particular preference for protecty bird, fighty bird, scouty bird, weedy bird. There you go.
I think we should let the icons decide.
Let the icons decide.
Yeah, I agree.
Wow. Already going with the Coriolites. I see.
Oh,
Okay.
fuck me. All the
So-
way through.
So to be noted. All right. So
4. It's a
the
guide.
that's right. The gods have decided that it is a guide, which
Guide.
means its health is 4 and its energy is 3, which is what I got. And it gets which special ability again? Which one is the guide?
Where do we put the word guide?
I'm just going to put it in its name.
Okay.
Or you can put it in its name. I won't do anything of the sort. And then I will give it the special ability that comes with being a guide, which is Farsight. I'm pretty sure.
I can't edit.
Can't edit? Oh, okay. I will call it the guide.
Okay.
Guide.
So it has a health of 4 and an energy of 3.
3, and it has Farsight as an ability, which means that it can scout ahead, and whoever's controlling it. Oh, so one thing about how birds work overall, which is kind of important, is one member of the group has to roll an insight roll to get it to do anything. You can use energy that it has it costs an energy point usually to activate an ability. Not all abilities. There's one that costs nothing, but most cost 1. And the number of successes you get indicates how effective that ability is. As I said earlier, the bird will not operate of its own volition. Do you want to do the appearance of your bird?
Yeah, go on.
Go on
Yep.
then.
All right. So it's D66. You can just use the D60, the 6-sided die on the rolls at the bottom of the chat window. I nominate Pete to roll color. Just roll 2d6, dude. Oh, you've never used Foundry before, have you?
I've
had
never
this
used
conversation.
Foundry before.
Okay, so at the bottom of the chat window, which is the first of the tabs on that far right-hand side, you can see there's literally a little roll icon down the bottom. So there's a kind of square, and there's the 2D.
Yeah.
So if you just click on the square twice and then hit roll, you'll get a 2d6 roll.
Okay. And roll.
Ta-da!
Huzzah!
And then if you want to know what order they rolled in, you can just click on the chat window that contains the roll, and it'll show you that you rolled a 65, which means
Ooh.
Iridescent colours.
iridescent colors.
Very nice.
Okay, so I'm
Is
just
that
gonna...
good? I don't know.
It's cool.
Well, it's a 65 or 66. It's got to be good.
That's
Or
always gonna
very,
be
Yeah,
very
of course.
bad,
Bad,
depending on
yes.
Or bad,
depending on
yes.
what you're rolling.
A 65 would mean you're dead. In a crit
John, do you want to roll body for me,
Yep.
please?
I'll roll body.
Wow, you guys are loving the 56. Okay. It's got opposable thumbs.
It can grab things.
For those of us who've
They're
watched
evolving.
Love and Robots, you know that this is the end of this is the end of humankind. The moment you give the animals opposable thumbs. Jed, why not? Would you mind rolling for personality?
Okay, so another D66.
If this rolls 65 again, there's something wrong with the dice rolling mechanic.
Mm.
Nah, it's not. It's fine.
Okay. Phew. All right. It's completely
16.
random. 16. It's nosy.
That's good for a scout.
Goes with the
It's good for
opposable,
guide, yeah.
and it goes
Yeah.
with the opposable thumbs on a really significant
Yeah.
way.
It steals things.
Nothing
Yeah,
is
you can't-
safe. And then finally, Doug, give us a name. What name does our lovely bird have? Good Lord. Guys like
Good
this.
Lord.
36.
Lots of sixes.
Lots of sixes. Tariq.
36 is Tariq.
Tariq.
All right.
Nice.
Tariq the Guide. Okay. You now have a bird. It is iridescent colors, so it flashes all these different colors across its body. It has opposable thumbs at the end of its wings, which means that it can open locks, undo, lockers, steal things, move things, press
Open
buttons.
doors.
What could possibly go wrong? So
Fly
many
a
options.
ship.
Yeah. Absolutely
essay.
nothing. It's
Exactly.
going to be absolutely fine.
Yeah. Said no one ever.
Ever.
No, I just said it, so therefore it's true.
Yeah.
All right, so you'll also get a Garuda device, but we can worry about that later. Last question for you guys, and we'll just put it in the notes for now. So you know your shuttle. So the way the whole sort of delving mechanical, what crew are you of question? You have a shuttle, so it's kind of like Dune. Big ship appears, having followed the slipstream and ridden the waves of. Actually, it's very similar to Dune when you think about it in that sense. So you've followed the flow of the universe. You've arrived in a system. Great ships are not built for landing on planets or even coming too close to them. So you all bundle up in your personal shuttle, which is your crew shuttle. You drive down to the planet and you explore things. And then out of the back of your vehicle, a la an alien scene, out pops your little rover. You're all bundled inside that, and it zips along to the actual ruins, hopefully protecting you on its way. Maybe not in all cases. So we need to roll a shuttle and a rover name. Since we're going with the random dice are us approach, I believe who did not roll? Matt. Matt, you did not roll. Matt, would you care to roll for the name of your shuttle? Subject to change at later point, of course.
There we go.
It's only a D6, but I'll just take the first roll.
All right.
2.
Okay. 2.
It's the Dust Hopper, which is good because I was going to give you a Grasshopper as the shuttle, so that works. Because they're the very ordinary standard ones that don't have any special abilities. Pete, would you mind rolling a D6 now? So I only tap once on that thing. Thank you. Your rover is called the Rockhound. Okay. And finally, how do people know they're yours? Paint scheme. Jed, why not?
Yeah.
Give us
D6?
a D6. Ha! Tangerine orange.
Nice.
Oh, yes.
Tangerine
Yes,
dreams.
That's going to be
dare I
brilliant.
suggest it.
Trying to keep.
Sorry, I had to put in a
Stealthy.
Beatles reference at some point.
Nice.
Okay, so people know you for your tangerine orange rover and shuttle, and possibly also the cut paint jobs on your exosuits and delving suits. But I will allow you to make that choice as to whether you wish to be unique and special, or whether you're going to be the team that colors the same way. All right, so we will now move to the fun bit, which is where I'm going to drop all your characters in. I think this is,
Now, did I miss the crew name?
I think I suggested we park it until the end.
Oh, the crew name until the end.
Because
Okay.
one of
Yeah.
us might donate a name of a character name to part of the
Indeed,
crew name.
indeed.
People. Well, Matthew's already put their role in as scout because it dropped in when they dropped it in. Awesome. All right. Okay. So at that point, we are done with creating the crew. That was quick. Nice. Okay, so per this breakup, so this is what we're going to do next. We're going to be rolling origins, choosing professions, and taking your speciality and its talent. So next sheet scrolls down. There's a bit of a description, by the way. So profession determines what you were doing before you became an explorer. Speciality is like the subset of those professions. You obviously have the 6 attributes, which are actually, if you've played any Year 0, will be pretty obvious. You can have a maximum of 5 in any attribute except for the one that is your key attribute for your profession, which means you can raise that to 6.
I just want to point out that the crazy thing about the attributes is there's 6 of them.
Yeah, I was wondering
Not
if someone
natural.
was going to comment on that. I literally was, going, I wonder if anyone's going to comment on the 6. On the 6. Getting rid of skills is interesting, isn't it? Because you're kind of trying to create enough variation in the characters, so you don't want 4 stats because then you just end up with, broadly the same person. And so they've created 6 to create that greater spread. Then they've thrown talents on top. Anyway, it's an interesting reflection. I quite like the system, but it is obviously responding. We didn't really talk about health, hope, and heart. So health is pretty self-evident. If you get shot, stabbed, or fall down a hole. Hope is the thing that you use to push, and really is the thing that gives you the energy to carry on. Heart represents how well you can resist. It gives you the sort of sense of your resistance to the blight, which ultimately corrupts you. Talents are, like I said, sort of like skills. Not in every case. There are a couple of talents that are quite unique, but most of the talents are effectively mini skills. And you'll get a bunch of talents through the rolling process, and then at the end you get to choose 3 talents. If you do want to just, if you're thinking about, that's a long, let me guess, there's probably a really long list of talents. Let me just configure ownership on the journal. Oh, no, hold on. I think I gave you guys. Can you go to the one next to items, which is the one we've been playing with? Click on the journal tab and just tell me if you can see some folders like talent
Ziggurat
list.
journal.
And
we
when
just
you
got Ziggurat journal.
Yeah, click that open.
Yeah. Combat and injury, equipment, talents.
Perfect.
And grasshopper.
And grasshopper. Awesome. Perfect. So if anyone's bored, you can click on the grasshopper and see what your little, although it's not tangerine orange, see what your little shuttle looks like. It's quite cute.
It is cute.
And the talent list, when we get there, there's a bucket load of them, and I did not create every talent in the game and put it in the sheet, put it in as an item. But I will create talents as we go for the talents that you choose. All right. And then you got your quirk, which is the thing that, it's kind of like Dark Secret and other things in the other Year 0 engine games. All right. So it's a D66 roll, which means we are rolling the 2D6 model. You are now doing all of this on your individual character sheets, by the way. This is not a crew thing. Please go into your individual character sheets and do it from there. Probably, so I'm going to clear the chat window. So that should now be empty, which it is. So you can all just roll 2D6, and then we can just scroll top to bottom and assign your
Can I
origins.
choose?
Actually, yes, that is the other option. If you, up to you whether you want to trust to the gods or the icons, I should say, Matthew. Choosing does seem like a fundamental rejection of your Coriolis beliefs.
Yeah, but the Yallies and Shanties of Aluminium Bay have just cried out to me.
Sure,
Okay,
this is where ships are
I'm
built
gonna
and
trust in your
machinery is
icon.
designed. Go for it.
All right. So what are we rolling on? Sorry. I was.
Okay, so we
Origin.
are
Oh,
rolling
yes.
your
Yes,
original,
yes.
your origination.
Yes, I know.
Where did you grow up, people? All right. So, Jed, you grew up in the under the iron sky of the dome. So that's pretty.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't see what Pete rolled. He's gone all private on me. You got 14, Doug.
Yeah,
It meant to
I'm
be
in the
public.
depths of the mining company.
Depths of the mining company. And John got 52,
Yep.
which is among the hulks and
Oh.
wrecks of Hulltown. Pete, do you know? Can you click on yours to see what you rolled?
45.
What was it?
Just
45.
a slight typo here.
There's more than a few.
If,
Like I said, when I brought it across,
Yeah,
I
45.
lost font.
No, it's in the main book. They've
Oh, okay.
misspelled aluminium.
Oh, yeah, they've
Oh, they did.
it's aluminum. Oh, actually, it's aluminum.
Aluminum Bay.
Aluminum Bay. That's a completely valid way to. That's a completely valid thing.
It is actually.
I
just
feel
had to
like this
get
is
my little
deja vu.
dig in,
Didn't we
Jed.
have this discussion this past week?
Yeah.
All right, somewhere in the eternal fog of the haze, which sounds awesome and completely trustworthy. All right, so going. So Matt, which faction? So the talent you
Yeah,
got
I'm not
is
going to roll for that either.
you're not going to roll for that. Oh, okay. So
No.
who
Well,
are
I'm
you?
rolling. I've rolled a 6.
Crane Rat.
No.
Oh, what's 6?
Aluminum Sky. 6 is Coriolites.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. I'm reading the contact, not the thing. Sorry, my apologies. And you have a talent, which is Actor 1.
Ooh.
So
Talents.
just create the talent and just call it Actor 1. So under talents in your tab, you can just go add talent.
Yeah.
And you can just write the name when you add it. Got complete control.
I can do actor actually, and you've got a level meter there.
Yeah, oh, no, you do. Yeah. Who got the Iron Sky of the Dome?
I did.
And Jed, what faction are you friends with?
D6.
Yeah.
5.
Oh, look at you, the lovely Black Toad. By the way, the name
Black
is
Toad.
suggestive of the types of people that they are. I think, John, did you get somewhere in the internal? Oh, no, sorry. I think it was Pete, didn't it? Who got 45?
That was
did you
me,
say?
yeah.
So
Yeah.
you get the Black Toad as well. You're also associated with the fine, upstanding protectors of the poor and the downtrodden, the Black Toad. Doug, I think
That fits
you...
in well.
I am the mining combine.
The Mining Combine. Lovely.
Yes.
And John, who did you get as your associated faction?
One moment, I will roll. The Toads.
Also the Toads.
Coriolites.
Wow. Oh, the Coriolites.
Oh,
Okay.
What a
Coriolites.
nice bunch.
What a lovely bunch of... Well, look, just because you know, the standover man who hangs on the corner and everyone, pays lip service to, doesn't mean you're necessarily a Black Toad yourself. Okay, and there is also, so just each of you, if you could go to talents and create the talent that you get so that we don't lose sight of it, that would be fantastic.
Oh, yes.
I'll just leave it up for a bit longer while you do that. Has anyone had any issue creating talents on their sheet?
It's worked for me.
Talent. Add talent. Cool. I'm there.
Awesome. Sweet.
I will roll for my contact.
I see.
Because, rigger.
Canty Gopper.
Canty Gopper.
Okay.
Put him in my bio, I guess.
Yeah, for now. Yeah. All right. Does anyone else need to roll for contacts who has not already done so?
Yeah, I will do.
Perfect.
Contact.
Assassin.
1d6, yeah?
Yep, or the Bone Breaker. Wow, you've got some great choices. The Dust Runner, the Bone Breaker, or the Assassin. Ah, Bone Breaker. Vasil Flash.
3. Bonebreaker.
You really do know the standover guy in the corner. All right. Has everyone finished that part of the process, please? Has anyone not finished? I should really ask this question in reverse. Okay, silence means yes. Okay, so now we choose professions.
And this is what we did kind of before becoming adventurers, right?
That's right. Before you were, before you were an explorer, before you found yourself desperate for cash or believing that you will be the one to solve one of the great mysteries of the Lost Horizon, or you're just doing it because you care enough about your civilization to want to make sure it's got the resources, irrespective of the reason, you were doing something else. So your choices are: you could be an artist whose key attribute is empathy, and then we will roll on that. You could be an enforcer, which is obviously more accustomed to violence perhaps than most people would understand. Slowing down all of a sudden. You can be esoteric, who have the key attribute of insight. Oh, I should have made the point. I think, enforcers have agility as their key attribute. Esoterics have insight as their key attribute. Note the bird motif next to esoteric. It's a hint. The odd jobber, who can do pretty much anything and is explicitly a jack of all trades. The roughneck, very alien-esque. Strength, endurance, force, jury rig, scan operator. So yes, they sort of do those sorts of things. Scholars who do research. Scoundrels who are much more of the criminal mindset. Travelers who are much more of the exploring mindset. Actually, what do scoundrels have as their key trait? Right, perception. The easiest way to do it is you could just choose the attribute, one of the two attributes that was key for your role within the delve, which was kind of part of the thinking I had when I asked you to sort of make that choice first. But please understand that is not binding; it's just a suggestion.
Hmm.
I want to be the
Although
esoteric or an esoteric.
An esoteric, by all means, be the esoteric.
Which wouldn't
although
make me
it's not.
particularly, but
Hmm?
there we go.
Well, you're the scout,
Although
aren't
it's
you?
Go, Pete.
And I'm the scout, yeah. So it doesn't help me at all. But
I'm gonna also go with something that doesn't help me at all and go with a scoundrel because that sounds like fun.
Good. I'm loving the way
well,
you
you are
guys are
Black
really
Toad.
leaning into my suggestion of being the second cousin first removed. There's this guy I know, he's really good for it. Has he ever done it before? No. Does he have any background in it? No. Sure, let's go with that guy. That guy sounds perfect. To correct Billy Crystal, good luck, storming the castle. Do you think they've got a chance? Not a chance in hell. All right. So Pete is going to be a scoundrel. Matthew is going to be an esoteric. John, anything vibe for you?
Yeah, I was thinking maybe scholar or roughneck.
Those are very different roles, very different professions.
Yeah.
I like
think
the fact you've literally chosen the two poles. I respect that it's the two poles that have been defined there.
I'm going for the roughneck, I think.
What role did you actually have in the delving group again?
I'm
Delver.
the
Delver.
Delver, so I should
You should be the scholar.
Yeah.
Scholar. I don't think scholar helps.
No,
either.
you'd want to
Archaeologist
be
could be
the
scholar.
explorer,
Enforcer or
the traveler. Sorry,
explorer.
the traveler is what I
Uh,
meant to say, not explorer. But no, roughneck. It is. I endorse your life choice because this is awesome. About 5 minutes into the delve, you're all going to say, actually, maybe I could do that and you could do this. That might be useful. And then everyone's going to go, wow, that sounds really sensible. Okay. Jed, anything take your fancy in the great world?
I was sort of looking at either roughneck or scoundrel, but something that makes sense for the guard. I don't know.
Well, I mean, if you actually want to be a, I mean, it's a radical, suggestion, but the enforcer makes obviously a good guard.
God.
Nah, don't do that. Let's all be a bunch of bumbling idiots.
Yeah, I'm respecting the other option though, which is a little bit related but a little bit more tangential, is the traveler who actually has good perception.
Okay.
And has a bunch of skills that back up just being generally good in various environments, which could also be a useful trait. The only reason I'm steering you away from roughneck and scoundrel is we've already got one of each of those, so that's the only reason.
Well, I'm kind of thinking a little bit about enforcer just because with three of us being connected to the Black Toads, who I have a vague idea of what kind of group that is. I almost see this as like I don't know, like a pretty disreputable group that has no business actually doing delves, but trying
But
to
you could also be an enforcer for the Black Toad, couldn't you? Or have been.
true.
That
I mean,
that is definitively very possible at this point.
yeah, because I don't know, I'm thinking of like like the Expanse with the OPA and the kind of like that sort of like organization that has its hooks in deep.
Yeah, I think that would be a very appropriate or apposite, to use the correct language, reflection. And as a massive fan of the Expanse, I endorse any decision that is based on an Expanse-related choice. Matter of fact, if anyone wants to be Avrasarala, I'm all in. Like that will be rewarded significantly. I'm here for the clothing. I'm here for how I dress. Doug, on that note, we haven't.
And that is me, because how can the reluctant artsy be anything but
the artist? Nice.
So I am the artist.
Awesome. Okay.
Formerly known as the scholar.
What could go wrong? All right. So now that we've all decided how brilliantly we're gonna just ignore. I really don't know why I wasted the time to get you to choose your roles up front. It was just lesson learned right there.
We're all gonna die immediately, aren't we?
Well, or you're gonna
we didn't want to be,
or you're all gonna change roles when you get into it. But choose or roll your names. I am completely agnostic. The names are on the sheets. Pete, what were you again? I can flick it up for you, buddy. Scoundrel. There you go, bud.
Okay, cool. We'll roll a D66. Make it easier.
Go for it. First roll, second roll.
So we rolled a 3. That's fun.
2d6. You rolled a 2 and a 1, so you can take Etila McCaff if you want.
Yeah, that'll do.
Etila McCaff. Matthew got 46, so I don't know what
I
that
am
is.
Jacina Hippolytes.
Oh, good old school. Not particularly, Doug, you rolled a 1, so you're
I'm
Aesop.
Aesop.
Yeah,
Aesop, which is a very artistic name.
it is.
And my second roll is Missiopio.
Wow.
Missiopio.
Aesop, Missiopio.
Miss.
That's going to be a mouthful. I look forward to
Yeah.
you trying to learn to pronounce your name. Jed, by the way, who has the rules and who doesn't? Because I've just realized has everyone
have the
got the
rules.
rules?
I do not have the rules.
Pete doesn't have the rules. Jed, did you back it? Do you have the rules?
I do not know.
Okay. That's useful knowledge. I'm sort of jumping between things, but I should really just focus on you two because I think everyone else has got rules that they can follow along at home. Is that right, John? You've got the rules, right? You backed it.
Yeah,
Of
I
course
got
you
it.
backed it. Of course. You've been backing Coriolis from before it was in English. That's how long you've been backing Coriolis. Okay. All right. So on that note, then Enforcer.
Yes.
There you go, Enforcer.
Burloff Ozakai, 22.
Cool. Uzkal. That'll be
Uzkal.
that. Uzkal. BNL. Verlof. Uzkal. And your key attribute is agility, which is important for later reference when you want to know if you're going to put a 6 on it.
Awesome.
You can take. I'm just going to jump across to this. Oh no, actually, it's probably easier. And Pete, you got your names, didn't you? Yes,
I did.
Your names.
Etila Mikaf.
That's right. Okay, and your key trait will be perception. And then you've got 4 key talents that you can choose from. Now, before we do that, though, how about we roll your specialities? Because that'll be way more fun. All right, so for Pete, since we have it in front of us, could you roll your speciality, please? What type of scoundrel are you, Pete? Sort of. Oh, you're a dust runner.
I'm a dust runner.
Nice. I like it when they start. They call the blight a curse, but is it really? Okay. So dust is the hallucinogenic drug of choice that may or may not be sourced from plants or the blight. So the blight form, the way it takes form, is normally in the form of some sort of plant life, by the way. That's often how it's found. And yeah, there are rumors that the black toads in particular have a dust running enterprise that funds many of their activities. And there are also
No, we don't. That is completely false.
It is completely false.
We don't have that at all. I don't know what anyone's going on about.
People
we don't have that.
People are so unpleasantly suspicious.
Yeah, we're just a friendly organization.
And just note, they'll never catch you, navigators, machinists. It doesn't matter. You're too clever. They're too slow. There's always ways to get where you want to be. And your free talent, so your new addition, you have another talent, is Streetwise.
Excellent.
Which means you have friends on said street. Just noting everyone else has rules at home except for Jed. Sorry, Jed, I'm just going to the Enforcer now for you.
Is that level 1, sorry?
Yes. Yeah, just take it at level 1. I'll need to, if you want to have a look at the actual description, even just the shorthand description, if you go into the journal tab, you'll find there's a giant table of all the talents. So you can actually read what the talent does. So
excellent. Cool.
You can just go read that. What did you get?
Yeah, I found it.
Guild Investigator.
Okay, so the guilds are the other powers that be. So the Coriolites, interestingly, are not a guild. The Navigators are the big guild. They're the ones who own the slipstream effectively. There's the gardeners who make sure the plants are growing. But there's nothing to stop you being in alignment with everything we've talked about so far. You being a guild, a investigator, brackets, for the Black Toad.
Okay.
It would be completely believable that the Black Code would have people who run down when people, try and get to the truth. Their mechanism for finding the truth might be more abrupt than some of the others, but there's certainly no reason why you wouldn't have a Mr. Wolf equivalent
Yes.
in the Black Code. By the way, in case for those of you who have not done anything with me before, I am an endless, media quoter, so I apologize if I'm quoting bits of movies that people don't know.
So I'm envisioning a bit of Christopher Walken from True Romance.
That would be a very appropriate view to hold. Yes.
Excellent choice.
uh,
I rolled a 3. I
And-
put my fate in the hands of the icons, and yay, they have created me a Coriolis seer.
have they? Okay. Good. So your free talent, by the way, Jed, just before I forget, is Investigator.
Okay.
So what were you? Esoteric? Coriolis Seer. Perfect. You are. Yeah.
So my talent is intuition.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Your talent is intuition, and I just out of interest, what, if any, paraphernalia do you use to foretell the future?
Oh, I don't
Oh,
know.
the
I
bird-
might well go
the-
old school and use grain, water, and light.
Nice.
You could have the bird write it down for you, and then you interpret
Well,
it.
given the bird's got an opposable thumb, yes.
Yes, that's right.
Does the bird throw the dice is my question. Does it hurl it out into the wilderness? All right, I am completely agnostic. You may recall there is a Coriolite, or within Coriolis, right at the beginning of Emissary Lost, there is a specific reference to the use of the water bowl and other elements as the ritual for prayer and for foretelling. So you are welcome to use your grain, light, and water combo if that is your preference.
Old school.
Old school. That thing kicked off the entire War of the Horizons. Anyway, whatever. John,
Well,
what did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, John, what did you land on, my friend?
I landed on a hull guard.
Nice. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, there are various jobs that you can get on the great ships as they move through space, because your crew is part of the greater crew. Well, it's given jobs as part of the greater crew. One of those jobs is literally putting on magnetic boots and hanging on for dear life onto the hull of the great ship. And, with your flamer equivalent, or not that a flamer makes a lot of sense, but yeah, they are referenced. You clear the ship of debris and guard it from things that come out of the slipstream and try and adhere to the side of the hull. It's a great job. Good news is it's really well paid in comparison to other jobs on the ship. Bad news is not many people get to claim the full wage. It's often handed on to family members as an explicit statement. All right, and then Pete. Oh no, we got you. You were Dust Runner. Doug, what did you end up with?
I am choosing
Fair.
the occasional publisher, and that gives me librarian.
Good. As a trained librarian, I fundamentally endorse that choice.
That's right.
My degree, which has served me no good, but there it is, many decades ago.
It served you plenty good. I mean, you've written a game of Japanese version based on your research skills.
That is true.
There you
That
go.
is true. And midnight raids on the National Diet of Japan's library. Anyway, not that I can read Japanese, but anyway, it's fascinating. Over time, so you are an occasional publisher, but in fabulous clothing, I'm assuming.
In an amazing clothing.
Good. Good.
Makeup. I have poems. I probably owe a lot of money for buying poetic scrolls and stuff like that.
Is it money? I mean, does it matter?
Nah, it's like role-playing games.
Exactly. I've got a whole bunch right behind me right now.
I need them all.
Actually, in all fairness, probably the framed maps of the One Ring second edition are the most expensive thing in this room at the moment, as those frames were not cheap. Okay, can I trust that you will all roll your equipment and just put a note in as to what you roll, and then I can later on add that equipment, or you can actually, of course, add that equipment. So for the Enforcer, just so that we are all playing along at home at the same speed, you've already got a few slide pistol. You can have a second one. That's weird. Was that you, Jed, that just rolled? No, that was Matt. Do you want to roll on your
That was
equipment?
me. Revolutionary pamphlets, fusillade cricket, and a flask with Mac spirits.
Oh, you've got a coiler rifle, a vision scope, and a camouflage net. Okay, so you're actually armed to the teeth. All right, good to know. Well, you're a dab hit. You're going to be a good shot because that gun is going to give you some serious bonuses.
All right.
Okay, particularly with the vision scope thrown on top.
For me.
3 for you. What does that give our good friends, the scoundrels? Hey, scoundrel, what do you got? Well, you didn't get a fusillade cricket, so that's a nice change. Oh, you got heavy tools, lockpicks, and a flamer.
Oh, so I am just a criminal. Brilliant.
Well, actually, although I will actually suggest to you that we don't do that, and you go with the last set, noting you're a dust
Chemical
runner.
kit. Yep. Works for me.
And the breathing mask, so that you don't accidentally breathe in any of the dust yourself.
Yeah, not getting high on my own supply.
Yeah, exactly right. That is the motif. You're running around with a big face mask on. You've got chemical kits for testing the quality of the dust, and then you've got 5 doses of the dust that you're dragging around. You'll be glad to know the one piece of equipment I did fill out in total in a complete set were drugs. So you can just drop Orchard Dust right on your character sheet. It is in the equipment folder. You will find that there's something called drugs, and underneath that you'll find dust. So Orchard Dust. Don't dwell on why I bothered to do the drugs specifically. That'll be, exposed much later on. All right. I think that. Oh, John, did you roll equipment, and what did you get?
Yep. Heavy tools, pickaxe, and breach charge. I think I'll give everything to Pete later on because I will have more use for it.
All right. So next, we're all going to be distributing points across our traits. Right. So you get 24 points. It is from 0, so the 2s that are on your character sheets are just defaults. So to be clear, those are not free. The total cost of attributes is 24 points across all attributes. I will make the small point that you did choose some things, so you may wish to lean into one at least of the since you've mostly chosen the opposite for the other one. There are 2 traits, but I will completely leave it up to you. So to edit your sheet, just before I forget, you'll have a little gear symbol next to the attributes title. Actually, I might stop sharing for a little while on that note, which will then allow Doug to sort of share what I'm talking about. So in the character sheets themselves, you click on the little gear symbol next to attributes, and you'll be able to adjust or reduce your stats. The 3 calculated stats are auto-calculated, so you don't have to do anything. They just get populated with little bubbles as you change them. And you should have the ability to go for it.
So I need to be good at my job. I need to be good at strength and logic. Correct?
I'm actually just going to go back to. I'm literally just rolling right back there right now. You chose borrower, didn't you?
Borrower.
Yes, strength and logic.
Okay.
The scout
I'm
needed
gonna be good at my
perception
job.
and logic. The guard needed strength and perception. The archaeologist needed logic and insight, and the delver needed agility and insight. So the enforcer doesn't get a key stat that feeds to the guard. Okay, good to know. I did not realize that. Fascinating.
What's that?
Well, I was just noting that the enforcer gets agility as their key stat, but guard's key attributes are strength and perception, which I think, I mean, I'm possibly being unfair, but that seems wrong. But anyway, what do I know? Like every modern game, guns are way more deadly than melee weapons. So I don't know why you'd prefer strength over agility for a guard. Anyway, personal point of view.
That's decided for me.
Okay, so just make sure you're tallying up all of your stats to equal 24 points, and you are good.
6, 9, 12, 17, 21, 24. Excellent.
Perfect. Okay. So, with that in mind, has everyone done their stats? Has anyone not finished their stats?
Ooh.
I keep on asking that question.
I
the wrong way
haven't
around.
quite finished my stats. I'm just looking at what I should be to be a decent scout. I can't find the
Perception
scout
and
list.
logic.
So I could go up to 6 in insight, could I? Because
As an esoteric?
it's my
Mhm.
esoteric, right?
Yep.
But
Esoteric,
I'm not
yep.
going to. Cool.
Okay. Just as a fascinating question, did anyone's profession align with their explorer role?
No.
Okay, awesome. Let's test this system. Okay. Okay, so once you've done your attributes, it auto-calculates, like I said, your
Health, hope, and heart.
Health, hope, and heart. We're then into the distribute additional talent points section, which
It's not. Oh, I see. It is. It's giving me different circles. Gotcha.
yeah. Then you just fill it. Just click on the last one, and it'll fill them all up, and then you've actually got them, as in they're full.
Ah, gotcha. Bloody hell! What's heart for?
Hold on. Good question. I'm literally looking at it right now. Remind me. Yep, that's right. Resisting the blight.
Oh, well.
So if you've got very high heart, you're gonna do better at resisting the corrupting influence of the ruins that you're exploring. If you've got very high hope, you're going to be better at pushing. And if you've got very high health, you're going to be better at not dying when you fall down a hole.
So what numbers considered high for those stats?
So I don't actually have a calibration for that, other than if you were to take 4s across the board, you would get 8s in all of those things. So I would suggest to you that anything above an 8 is going to be high. Anything below an 8 is probably going to be trending towards the lower end of the spectrum.
Okay. So I've got 9 health, 8 hope, 7 heart.
So that's kind of that's a perfect spread. Now, we get to spend 3 talent points. This is the bit that's going to be a little bit complicated. So you will need to, I'm going to need to reshare because 2 of you, yep, that's fine. Where's the, hey Zoom, there we are. Let me go back to sharing again. Sharing this one. All right, so now you've got 3 talent points. A couple of limitations, no talent above 2. And although if you were to get a scenario where you could get where you got 2 talents. I actually came up with this when I did my random testing of the character creation. I actually ended up with someone who, at the get-go, had 2 in a talent, and then I couldn't get more than that. If you get 3, you can basically spend a point somewhere else. So talents, you can spend the 3 points of talents on the key talents that are associated with your character sheet. So for the artist, that is acrobatic, charmer, cultural savant, and renowned. Once again, if I may point you towards the journal entry talents that is on the Foundry instance, you will see a list of all talents, and you'll be able to sort of read across and see. Specifically for you, Jed, just so I cover off the 2 people who don't have access to the rules, you can take any weapon talent. You can take commander, evasive, and medic.
Got it.
And for you, Pete, going to scoundrel. You've got acrobat, which I think you already have 1 level in. Oh, maybe that was someone else. Someone got acrobat. I know that.
No, sleight of hand and streetwise I've got.
Ah, right. That's right. Acrobat, charmer, lookout, stealthy.
Okay, cool. Charmer.
I was going to say the names of the talents to a large extent are reasonably explanatory as to what they're going to do. So the one not helpful is actually weapon talents, because there's a group of talents called weapon talents. So that's a little bit less useful. You may.
Who else might be taking cultural savant?
I think the artist can take cultural savant.
Douglas?
Yeah.
Are you talking with your mute button on?
My dogs were barking. Sorry. I wasn't thinking of taking cultural savant.
Cool. I might take 2 levels in cultural savant.
Look at you showing off.
Now we can't take any other talents other than the key talents, right?
Correctamundo.
I thought I read a rule that says you could take 1 point in a talent that wasn't yours.
Oh, okay. Well, let me go back and check. I just flicked through it, but I may not have read it as carefully as I needed to.
Be very helpful for me.
If the GM allows it, you may place 1 of your 3 talent levels into any talent of your choice. Ooh, the power. I could say no.
The power.
I'm not going to, so yeah, sure, that's fine. You can put 1 point into any talent you want.
Okay.
But the other 2 have to go
For
into
me to
talents
have some sort of
aligned
like
profession.
scouting talent.
Now,
Sure. I mean, you could take that attitude.
So we have 2 automatics that we have 1 point in.
Correct.
Okay.
And you can add to one of those talents with that freebie, or if you have the profession, if the profession marries up. So per the example just given, if you'd rolled the one that gave you acrobat in your origin and then you also took scoundrel, you could actually have 2 in acrobatics because you put 1 point from your profession and you get the starting point.
Okay.
So the 1 level, because you're allowing it, the 1 level I'm going to take is not to do with my background. I think I'm going to take demolitions expert because blowing stuff up.
Actually being somewhat skilled at the thing you're meant to be doing. What? That's crazy talk.
Yeah, obviously. There's a reason I got the job.
I like the way that you're all curving back, but you've started so far away from where you needed to be that curve is just going to, sort of edge in that direction rather than actually land you there. I respect that deeply.
These were our former jobs.
I think this is going to make the game more fun.
Oh, look, no debate. Look, I'm imagining you're all on the great ship and you've all got those self-learning modules, and it's like you're all watching videos of, and you're in particular watching the one that says normally the green wire is the right wire to cut. However, in some circumstances, it might be the red wire. really, we can't help you decide which of those two it is. You'll just have to work it out yourself. And you're watching this video while, laying in bed at night, Demolition for Dummies.
And also, it might be the black wire.
It also might be the black wire. It could, as a matter of fact, the whole wire.
It could be any of them.
like all of that self-guided training stuff, you'll be walking out at the end of it going, I'm not sure that I've learned anything that will actually help me. Meanwhile, others are, reading their Coriolite texts as opposed to actually studying for the thing that they need to be studying for, because the icons will protect and guide us. That's all I need to know. I'll be disappointed, Matthew, if your character ever makes a decision without pulling out a bowl of water and some grain and some sunlight.
No, needs must as the devil drives. Obviously, water and grain may be kind of difficult to do, but I do have some max spirit, which I'll tell you is made of water and grain. So all I need is a source of light.
That's brilliant.
So I've got a torch for that.
I've now got a distinct image of you going, hold on, I need to foretell the future. You take a swig of the grey spirit. You hold up a little crystal in the sunlight and you go, yep, I reckon it's that way. And everyone's like, how does that work? All right. Okay, so choose the talents that speak to you. Apologies.
Am I right in thinking?
Go.
Am I right in thinking I can take 2 levels in one of the talents on the career path?
Absolutely. That is completely true.
Another talent, yeah?
Yep. 1,000,000%. You can take up to 2 in any one talent.
2 levels in Charmer.
Oh, look at you, talking people down.
The guy with the bombs is talking people down.
For your scout, would you prefer your scout was stealthy or had a 6th sense and therefore can't be surprised by a sneak attack?
What does stealthy do? Let's have a look.
Stealthy just gives me +1 per level.
Better sneakery.
Which feels a bit scouty.
That does feel scouty. I'll
I'll go with stealthy then. I kind of like 6th sense, but I'll get that later.
Okay, that was weird.
If I survive that long.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, my headphones just made a noise that sounded like they were shutting down. And everyone went silent for a second, and then suddenly you could hear me again. I don't know. It's weird. Cool.
Sometimes these things crash.
Stealthy is.
If I may suggest something, and I hesitate to do this because all of the advice I've given so far has been roundly ignored, which makes me feel like I'm dealing with any of the clients that I normally deal with. So I should be used to it by now. You could take 6th sense, which would actually protect the entire group, as opposed to stealthy, which makes you slightly more stealthy.
I'm
okay,
reading.
I'll take. I asked the group what they wanted, but I'll take. I like 6th sense.
Actually, reading 6th sense, it's probably better.
Stealthy means I don't get attacked. 6th sense means we don't get attacked.
And also, it does accord with your intuition.
Yeah.
That's why I liked it. It's very in line with your, weird Quakery that you're doing all along while you move around.
So 6th sense means I cannot be taken by surprise.
So I completely underestimated how long this would take, but that's also not uncommon. Okay, so has anyone not finished selecting their talents?
I'm almost done.
And when we're done, we should have 5 talents each, right?
Correct, Amondo. You got 1 for your Explorer role. You got 1 for your Origin. You got 1 for your Origin. You got 1 for your Specialization. You get 3 points for free, and then obviously you also get one associated with your role, which may not be included in that list, but that's fine.
Do you
Just
get one
bear
with
with
that
me 2
roll? I
minutes.
don't
I'll be
remember
back in a
getting
second.
one.
You do.
roll,
You
do
get
we?
you get a maneuver, which is kind of like a talent.
Right.
So
A
you
It's not,
maneuver.
though, is it? It's not a talent, it's a maneuver.
Where's a
sure.
maneuver?
Uh,
See that?
It's in the explorer training.
Oh, okay.
It's related. So maneuvers go onto your crew sheet. The person can activate the maneuver, and actually, kind of like Basin, there's a concept of the individual and the group that flows through the game. So you get two types of experience in effect. So very similar to Basin. And you can use the experience that you get as a group to buy these maneuvers. And I think you can also use it to upgrade your bird. I think that's how you upgrade your bird. I'm pretty sure that's right.
Yes.
Crew points. That's right. CPs and EPs. Okay, so John, what talents is your character taking forth into the world?
So it's exospecialist and lookout from the career and specialty, and then delver, Eurorig, and endurance.
Cool.
That's my three chosen one.
Okay, so you can wear it. You can wear the exosuits that allow you to stand out on the hull. You're good at keeping an eye out, and you can jimmy open a locked or seized door like no one's business. Pete, what talents did you take? You took Charmer 2. What is your final
I
list of
took-
talents?
So I have Sleight of Hand level 1, Streetwise level 1, Charmer level 2, Demolitions Expert level 1.
Yeah, I've got to say I do feel like one of these is not like the others, but I like it. Doug, what talent package did you end up with?
I ended up, and I just finished it.
Awesome.
Okay, so I have Minor 1, Librarian
Nice.
1, Renowned 1,
Okay.
Investigator, which is the extra 1, and Cultural Savant 1, because I figured that was better than Charmer because we already have a Charmer.
Okay. We also have a cultural savant, but don't worry.
No, but we'll just have discussions on culture.
All right.
Arguments, you mean?
Endless debates.
Yes.
Matthew, what was your final talent package?
So I got actor from my origin, intuition from my previous life. Both of those at level 1. Cultural Savant 2 and Sixth Sense.
God, you're like that old mystic from Akira. That's who I'm thinking of. You know, you're sitting there with the bowl, doing the prayers with the big white robes on while people are surrounding you, carrying you forward. It's the whole image.
I'm a
and
young
then,
woman with a mask.
well,
actually.
sure.
Yeah,
Well,
you
of
gotta
course
have
you've
a
got a
mask.
mask. You're a Coriolite with proper respect for the Sandalans because they're not bad people.
I was thinking more Mystic Meg.
Oh, nice. Jed.
Question.
Yes.
So for the talent sharpshooter, it says it's a talent for shooting heavy weapons such as rocket launchers, flamers, and vehicle mounted weapons. But I think that's the same description as is under heavy weapons.
That will be my stuff up. My apologies.
Okay. I was about to say, I'm a sharpshooter with a rocket launcher. That doesn't seem actually very impressive.
So I would assume that sharpshooter, and I will actually. Did I put the talents at the bottom of this? I thought I did.
Oh.
Let me just double check that statement before.
Pleased to find my Max Spirit actually has a mechanical effect as well.
Is this the talents? Yeah, here we go. Sharpshooter. Sharpshooter. What's the shorthand? Oh no, it just gives me combat. Okay, all right. I need to open up the core rules. What page is this on? All right. Oh, that's right. I remember now. It's in this really inconvenient place. I was not a fan where they put it. Here we go. Sharpshooter. My apologies. Combat. Sharpshooter. +1 base die per talent when firing a long-barreled gun, such as a rifle or carbine. That does sound more apposite than heavy weapons.
Yes. Okay.
So yes,
So-
But we've all got pistols, haven't we? Or is
he's got Jed, I should say he. Jed has a rifle.
Oh, he does. Cool. Okay. Yeah, sounds great.
Coiler rifle, as a matter of
Coiler
fact.
rifle. So yeah, so for my talents, I started with acrobat, and then I got investigator, and then I chose evasive, sharpshooter, and what was the sort of dirty fighter? Because I can
Excellent.
pick one from anything, right?
Yeah. Oh, I just remembered coiler rifles are automatic auto guns.
Ooh.
And for those of us who've played Coriolis, will understand the particular reason why I'm going, oh, that's
Full auto.
right. Full auto. Although full auto is nowhere near as well, they've nerfed it a
Powerful
bit.
as it used to be.
Yeah, they've nerfed it a bit, which is completely reasonable because it was completely out of control.
Well, with machine gunner talent and all the other things you can do.
Just threw on top of it. Yeah, they've taken away those types of abilities, that's for sure. And you can only hit up to 3 targets with auto fire in the new rules. So they have tried to nerf it a bit to not make it quite so ridiculously overpowered. Damage 3, crit 4, 2 bonus, extreme range. Oh no, hold on. Maybe it doesn't have auto fire. Maybe only the carbine has auto fire. Oh, okay. Okay. That's a bit sad. All right. You might want the carbine, actually. Maybe you want to swap it for the carbine. Kind of might make more sense for your character, actually.
Probably.
Packing a sort of shorter barreled weapon that can, say, slot underneath a long coat or something of that effect might be more in line with your chosen profession and background.
My duster.
Yeah, your duster, that's right. Okay, so we're almost at the end, people. That was that. Those were all the talents. Oh, I did put all the talents in. I just missed them. Okay, good work. Good work, Bob. Okay, those are the talents list. More maneuvers. Yeah, we'll worry about that later. Quirks. Okay, can everyone roll 2d6, please, and give me.
Excellent. Sounds like fun.
What is the thing that makes you? Or you can choose. By the way, I should make the point. You can choose, of course.
Is it a D66 or?
Yeah, it's a D66.
So I am on 24.
So, funnily enough, John got constantly reading. Jed got eye-catching tattoo. Jed.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
Frederick's got 24, which is overly polite. Doug got.
This is my quirk, right?
Yeah. Wears makeup. Look, that was coming.
I was just writing down that I wore makeup. Is that too on the nose?
No, I think that is completely on point. Although I would say, noting the commentary already delivered, perhaps it should be ostentatious clothing.
Yes.
Like always wearing the brightest, most colourful things.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Like when I rock up at work and I'm wearing my green suit and my purple paisley shoes, just as a lived example of exactly what I'm talking about.
Because you can.
Because I can, that's right. Because someone has to wear a purple paisley. Hello. Thank you. All right.
Can I take Thrill Seeker?
You can take whatever you want, Pete, and it would make complete sense for your dust running, I'm better than everyone, no one's ever going to catch me person to be a thrill seeker.
Yeah, basically what I had in mind is try and get the attention of the guard or the police or whoever the authority is, and get chased by them for a bit, just for a laugh.
Okay, now you also get starting capital, which is based on your origin. So feel free
D6.
to. I don't think anyone came from the Cave Gardens or the Inner Sanctum.
500 ruck. I'm a millionaire.
You are actually explicitly what I think of as the Coriolites, which is you're actually dirt poor, but no one knows because
I'm so fine.
it's all about presentation, right? Like
Absolutely.
all of your power comes from the perceived authority that you have, rather than the actual resources you have access to.
Where do
So
I keep
what am I rolling? I come from the haze, was it?
Yeah, you were the haze, weren't you?
Yeah.
So you've actually got more money.
3d6.
3d6. Yeah, look at you, rolling dough.
Where do we keep our
Where do we
supply?
keep it?
Oh,
I would just
average.
so supply goes into equipment.
I know I've got a supply tab here. I can't see where we keep our ruck. I mean,
No.
Oh, just put it in as a note for now.
All right. Okay.
All right, and then last but certainly not least, your keepsake, the little thing that you carry with you everywhere that reminds you of the past. Something. Can everyone see the chart
51.
so you guys can just, yep.
Yeah. Can I come up with a custom one?
Absolutely. Yeah, by all means. Yeah.
A bullet with my name on it. Literally inscribed on it.
Of course.
Well, you'll never get shot.
Exactly.
Because out there somewhere there's a bullet with everyone's name on it. And if you've got the bullet with your name on it, you're never going to get hit by one.
Exactly. My thoughts exactly.
I think you and I are going to get along very well.
Okay, so has anyone not rolled their keepsake? I really got to stop asking. Has everyone?
I have a piece of a builder shard.
Oh, you're dragging around something worth a bit of money. So builder shards are like pottery sherds, so they're broken bits of material, but they're usually made of a sort of exotic material, and are actually worth money. Matter of fact, you're probably carrying more money in the piece of the shard than you've actually got on your person. Like they're worth more money than you are carrying. That's for sure.
But it's my keepsake.
Oh, look, you'd never sell it.
No.
Okay, if everyone has chosen or rolled,
I've rolled, but I'm going to choose instead 25. Obviously,
what was 25?
Because
again?
it's a
medallion predicting the Coriolite Traveler.
Yes,
the Traveler.
Of course. The Traveler.
Love the Traveler. Big fan. All right, then we're at the final bit. Now, I don't actually think you need to roll your appearance. If you haven't got a pretty clear vision of what you're looking like, then feel free. Completely up to you.
I'm going to reverse those numbers and see.
I'm going to make it up as I go along here with appearance, I think.
Okay, perfectly fine. And then, last but certainly not least, by the way, there is the bit where you go and buy equipment, but we'll worry about that. What I'll do, if you're both comfortable, Jed and Pete, is what I normally do is I have a Google Drive. I'll drop the rules in it, and all you can do is read them, so you can't download it, which makes me feel more morally and ethically sound. But I'll share the link so you can jump on it and actually read through the rules and find the equipment lists and make decisions about what you want and all of that.
Works for me, mate.
We need to name our crew, I guess, now.
Yeah. Well, actually, we need
Yes.
to decide why you became an explorer.
Oh,
Then we need to name our crew. So,
let me have a quick look. I've got a good idea why.
so have a look at the list. It's right in front of you right now, hopefully.
Yeah, you want to get back to Kua.
Yeah. I like the embracing of the dice rolling for.
Oh,
for
that's
things.
awesome.
What'd you get?
Okay.
I think I'm hunted by somebody bad. I've upset somebody,
And as a result, yeah. Oh
and
yeah.
this is the way out. Given I'm also a revolutionary on the sly as well.
I am.
took
Go on,
read all
John.
the Zinti novels because I'm constantly reading, so I've read them several times.
Cool. You know, great space operas of heroes doing amazing things.
Exactly, that's where I was.
Yes. From a long time ago in a
Ship
galaxy
City
far,
felt
far
too small.
away.
I like that.
Hold on, did
Ship
you also
City
get You Were
simply-
Hunted?
No, I got Ship City simply felt too small for you.
Nice. That definitely tracks with everything else that's been said so far. You need a bigger you need a bigger playground, man. And Jed? Oh, sorry, Pete.
I think my character's just doing this for a laugh more than anything else.
Yeah, that's the guy who's in charge of the demolitions is doing it for a laugh.
That's perfect.
That can't end well. Funny story. One of my uncles was actually a powder monkey on mine sites for most of his life. So I have actually had direct relatives who blew things up for a living. He was the only one who wasn't in the army, so go figure. All right.
Mine is also on point. Mine is you were fascinated by the mystery of the builders, which is probably how I got that piece of builder shard.
By the shard,
and I started off as a miner.
Nice. So you found a piece of the shard. And one of the exo traits that actually would be cool for your shard and would certainly accord with everything that is about you is there are certain, so the different exo traits aren't like specifically written down anywhere, but they're kind of mentioned as you read through the rules. A big one is that the shape can change and deform based on either how you pressure it and how you treat it with certain types of heat and cold, but also how you will it. Some of them will actually change just because you will it so. So it would make a lot of sense for you to have a shard that does something quite extraordinary in that space.
And thus why I'm an investigator.
Yeah.
And why I'm a librarian. And also why I'm renowned because of my cultural savantiness.
And you're not the scholar, right? That's right, isn't it?
No, I'm not the scholar, but
Perfect.
I am.
But you are deep in your heart. This is going to be awesome.
I'm an artist deep in my heart.
Yeah. All right. And Jed, what did you land on, bud? Reason for?
To escape a disgrace.
Oh, okay. Maybe the rest of your family aren't members of the Black Toad. Maybe there's a bit of, maybe there's a bit of, kind of judgment there. Or maybe you've done something so bad the Black Toad threw you out.
That could be.
That would be great. Like something you've done that is so not okay that even the Black Toad wouldn't keep you around.
The shame of it all.
The shame of it all.
The shame.
Okay, unbelievable.
Now is the time that we get to choose our name for our...
Now, with all of that in mind, with everything that has taken us through this journey, this slightly misconstructed group of ne'er-do-wells, I think it's fair. I think that's a fair comment. I think even the ones who might have been okay have actually turned out to have slightly dodgy backgrounds. Not picking on you, Coriolite, but just saying. You know, you were rolling. You were
There's nothing
rolling.
dodgy about being a Coriolite.
Yeah,
If
you were
it
rolling
fits.
fine, and then right at the end, you went, "Oh, maybe I'm being hunted by people who are really pissed off." You all now get to choose the name of your crew, and I'm going right back to where was the crew name? Oh, it was here, wasn't it? Crew name. Okay, these are boring names. I expect better. But to give you a sense of what they could be, you could be one named person's raiders, chosen few, seekers, drifters, rascals, or you could be, any of the others.
So can everybody apart from me tell me what their first name is, or their favourite name of their two names? Because have we got any that trip off the tongue as a gang name, and they can be our leader?
Eosiop Misiopio.
That
We're
doesn't
not-
roll
we're
off the
not-
tongue, mate.
that's definitely not.
I think I'm out. I'm out of the running.
I just love the idea that every time you say your name, the person you're talking to says, "Your parents really hated you, didn't they? Like, they really freaking hated you."
I have
All right.
4 I's and 4 O's in my name.
John, what
And
what
2
is your
P's.
character's name, please? Or what is your favorite name?
Asmira Belkovorskaya, but I think Asmira is their first name. Surname.
Asmira might be a good gang name.
Jed?
Jed?
Verlof Ozkyle. I think I like Verlof better
With a
Cool.
V or an F?
with a V.
V.
Ah,
And Pete?
So I am Etila Mikaf.
Attila.
Attila.
Etila.
Etila.
E.
Etila.
Oh,
Etila.
Etila.
No, it's like it was inevitable. There, even not including John, there are literally the complete spread of accents that you can achieve. The only thing we're missing is New Zealanders, and I know the rest of you don't think there's a difference between New Zealand and Australian
There
accents.
is.
I just want to
No,
be
no,
very
no.
clear. There's a
I
huge
dated
there
a New Zealander.
absolutely
I
is.
am
There
very aware
absolutely
there's a
is.
difference.
right. Good.
Look at
That's-
us all being experts on New Zealand.
They speak like Scots. It's well, like Scots who came to the south. All right. So
Oh wait, what's Matt's name?
I'm Jacina Ippolites, but I'm not gonna name this group after me. I'm in the background, mate. I like
You're
Asina.
hunted.
Yeah.
Let's roll number 2 first, and then let's see if anything pops out before we go for the name. I do have a favorite name out of all of you.
Well, we
Okay.
could also choose another descriptor.
Oh yes.
But what's yours out of all of those?
My favorite is Attila. Attila's something.
I mean, I'm not going to say no to the group being named after me. After all, I'm a bit of an egotist.
and you are a charmer. And you are a charmer. So even
And
if
he is a
you're
charmer.
actually rubbish leader and you actually have no skills, you could be the person who's pulled everyone together by convincing them that this is a real opportunity.
You
Yeah,
could be
I'm
the face
thinking-
man
I
that
like
gets
that.
us all the jobs as well.
Yeah.
I think you're the
Oh
one we
God, that
push
means I've got to do a lot
forward.
of talking.
When someone needs to get convinced, we push you forward. You take this.
Yeah. I kind of like, and I think
Okay.
this goes with absolutely everything about your group that I perceive as someone who's been watching. I like the idea that Etila has brought the group together, has presented himself as a leader. Everyone's been convinced because Etila can talk faster than any human on the planet or on the great ship. Has assigned you all roles. You've all gone, yep, great, this is organized. And then about 5 minutes after you arrive at the delve, there's going to be this moment where everyone goes, Etila, do you actually know anything about delving? And Attila's going to go, well, I read a book once.
Yeah, and his book, the book underneath his arm is bomb demolition for dummies.
Yeah, exactly. And on the other arm,
in my notes, I've written blowing shit up is fun. So
That's right.
And that would also
I'm going
track.
to
So
propose
Etila
a not
chose.
necessarily serious descriptor for our group,
Ooh.
because the Seekers and the Drifters and the Rascals. I mean, I'll go with Rascals if because that may be the
Attila's
closest
Rascals, yeah?
descriptor.
Do you
But
have
I was
one
just
off the-
wondering about naming it after one of those crap detectorist groups that Simon and Garfunkel were in, the detectorists, Dirt Sharks or something like that. I can't remember their other names.
What about
Oh,
Bastards?
That's no. I have too fancy a clothing for such. The tattered. We could just call it Attila's tatters.
Oh, what about Attila's Circus? Given your fancy clothes.
Yes, Attila's Circus, which
I'm
mean
happy.
many things.
I'm happy with that.
I would strongly
You know.
endorse Circus, as the long campaign that are running Coriolis was built around a bunch of characters who were all actually pretending to be circus performers,
In a
but
circus.
were actually assassins working for what's the name of the courtesans group? Faction.
Alarm's Temple.
Yeah, they were all actually members. They were black operatives of Alarm's Temple, but they all ran around as circus performers. It was genius. It was so much fun. So Attila Circus definitely would be my favourite name, but I am obviously an outsider.
As an egotist, it's got my name in it, so I'm not going to say no.
Dido has suggested something to do with capybara, and it could be Attila's Capybara Circus.
Again, it's got my name in it. I'm not going to say no.
He's fine.
As the originator of the capybara meme that has infected what I hope is more and more of Coriolis, I heart any reference to capybaras. Although, in my defense, it was never intended to happen that way. It was the fault of other people. I was just going to
pick up an.
I was just gonna pick up a rodent and eat it. I was just gonna, ritually sacrifice it to my hunt god. But other people chose to, defy my need for,
you could have sacrificed it, but you'd have dealt with the hatred of everybody else.
Exactly, and in the end, the capybara actually outlived my Skavaran assassin. So, it was inevitable. Okay.
All the best memes are unintentional, mate. So,
No, look, absolutely. All right, so are we going with Attila's Circus, Attila's Capybara Circus? Yeah. I think the first one, as much as I thank Muhammad for the addition of Capybara, I suspect it probably stretches the name a little bit far from syllables, but, that's just a perspective.
I think
I think Circus is as good as we're going to get. We could go even more stupid and call it Attila's Clown Car, but I think
that might be what other people call you. That might be what the other explorer groups call you, but you are definitively going to call yourself the Circus, because Etila would never call his group the Clown Car. He would call it the Circus.
Right. You're my circus, guys. Come on.
We have this orange
tangerine
orange
tangerine
ship, and we also have what was it, an iridescent bird?
Yes, you have an iridescent bird. Yep.
Yeah, we are very bright and colourful.
You are
very colourful indeed.
I mean, that explains Doug's character's presence in the group. Etila has literally selected them to style the group. Someone needs to style the group.
I have an eye-catching tattoo, so
exactly.
That's right.
It's beginning to become apparent that Etila may not have selected you on the basis of your skills.
I have a colorful scarf around my face. Matt's character has a mask. I mean, we just look like a traveling circus.
Yeah, I have a tame rat.
A tame rat?
Yep.
Okay. So we've got the animal circus component dealt with. You've got the performing rat scenes covered off.
All we need now is an elephant.
Well, the bird itself with the thumb. I mean, there you go. Just take in the money.
2 thumbs,
Yeah.
1 on each wing. Can your bird juggle? Is this its circus trick?
Yes,
It
absolutely.
probably can.
It probably can.
And is
If
it
it
a
can before, it can now.
is it a
Wasn't it-
reputable use of the bird to get the person who commands the bird to juggle? And
Yes.
one last question: who is going to have the Garuda device? So the Garuda device is the way of communicating with and controlling the bird. As already noted, control of bird is an insight roll. Insight. And I really
have
strongly
insight 5.
advise that you stick the bird
That's
with
not
the
going to be
person
me.
with insight.
I think Matthew should. I have an insight 5, but I think Matthew should.
Yeah, I think Matt should have the bird.
I mean, he's the esoteric, right? I mean,
He is.
You know, when
As
he's not
noted-
drinking, the bird is going and fetching more drink.
Well, as we've already discussed,
for
that-
worship.
The bird can
worship
actually carry
purposes,
the
of
jugs.
course.
That's quite useful with its
people open
Look,
the doors to your
it's-
room, and the bird is literally carrying a jug of alcohol to you, and there's like, okay, it's the only time.
How big is this bird? Is it like an emu?
No, it is not like an emu.
It's got, I think it's 4 meters. The wingspan is 4
4 meters? 4
Yeah, they're-
meters?
No, they're not. They're not that
I
big.
thought they were
They
that
can
big.
look at the picture. It's right in front
There's
of
one
you.
on the shoulder, yeah.
Oh,
It's
there's
right
one
in
on the
front of you.
shoulder.
It's like a crow type deal.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
effectively a
Okay.
crow or a raven.
I thought it was
size bird.
large.
No,
Oh, well.
but later
4
on,
meters. It could
I do
carry
want to
us.
reassure you that there are things that look like birds that are really big, but you probably would prefer not to meet them. All right, so it is 8:32 a.m. Australian Eastern Summertime, I should say, to get it completely correct. And we
It's
are
5:30 p.m. It's dinner time here in Atlantic Canada.
right. And Jed, I assume you're basically on the same time zone, noting
No.
you're in New Jersey.
No.
No.
One
No.
behind.
One behind.
4:30. 4:30.
Oh yeah, because Canada sticks out that way. Yeah, I should know that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Douglas is almost halfway here on his
Fair.
bit Canada.
Fair point.
Actually, tonight I'm only 3 hours difference.
All right. So maybe we will. I did think we might do some scenes, but in all transparency, we're not going to. So we'll do that next session. There's a bit of cleaning up of character sheets to do. As already noted, for those of you who don't have the rules, what I'll do is I'll plop them into my share folder, and I'll send you the link directly on Discord, so you can just click it and read it and read the bits. Just noting there's a couple of minor errors with the talent descriptions. Maybe just double check the actual rules and their descriptions of the talents as opposed to the ones that I put in the table, which I thought were a spot, but maybe not. And you do have a bit of money and create the equipment on your character sheets that you need for your characters. The next session, so I'm open to running this weekly because it's on a Sunday morning and that works for me, but I don't know how that works for other people, so happy to sort of have a general discussion about how frequently we run it. By way of expectation, I think it'll take about 3 sessions to complete the game. The first session will be, I've written a whole piece on traveling on the Great Ship and sort of having encounters on the Great Ship to really explore the sort of the slipstream journey material and sort of test that out a bit and see how that goes. And then there is the delve itself, which will take anywhere between, I think, 3 to sort of 4 hours, I would think. Might take longer, but that's my expectations. So, and on the assumption that we run sessions for somewhere between 2 and 2.5 hours, that suggests 3.
On the assumption
sessions.
as well that we are a highly trained, very focused group who can do exactly what we're all expected to do.
Because that's what's
Yes,
always
yeah.
happened whenever I've run you, Matt, in a game. The only thing we're missing is Dave, and then you could spend 40 minutes arguing about which one had topped the other as a gunsmith / gun merchant, as I recall, in the Japanese Western game.
I mean, if there's one word that really sums up tactical precision, it is circus.
Yeah. And given that
Flying circus, I will point out.
Character creation was going to be 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
And so we're probably looking at maybe 8 sessions and not 4, or 6 sessions and not 3, but who knows? We could surprise you and die in the second episode.
Or not surprise me and die in the second episode. Depends on how you depends on how you read surprise as a word. Because
cuts the black wire.
That's right. And it's all over. I actually had someone do that in Vesson just last week. They literally threw a grenade or the equivalent. They threw dynamite in a small enclosed space at someone while the entire Vason party was in the room with the person, and they just panicked and threw dynamite, which I respected. It was like, I'm panicking, I'm throwing the dynamite. And basically I had to fudge the rolls to not kill the entire party instantaneously. It was quite epic. It was quite epic, actually. There's much grief has been shared with said character since then. Okay. Like I said, I think we discussed how frequently. I'm completely comfortable to do it weekly to try and close it out. I should be clear. I am completely okay with it taking longer. Although I have a trip planned to Melbourne at some point in that period, so that will just mean 1 week we'll skip because I'll be in Melbs.
I'm good for next week. Is everybody good for next week?
I'm good for next week.
Yeah, me too.
Saturday nights are clear for me. I'm fairly boring. So
awesome.
All right. Then next week it shall be. Is everyone happy with their character? Do you feel like the system? We should ask this question, right? Like,
this is going to be great.
Because we're doing this as part of it is to test these rules out, right? And I think actually the character creation path kind of thing is actually pretty good. It's pretty well done.
It was fun to do it together. I think that was, and I think it was
always
right to do the crew first, and then to go back and do the name. It makes total sense now.
Except that you guys completely ignored the crew. Although that actually is in of itself quite funny, because in a weird sort of way, if you hadn't chosen your crew first, you would have all chosen the roles that make sense for your, what you've rolled up. Whereas in some ways, you've actually chosen against that, or you've got a background and then you've, as I said earlier, curved towards the role in the last moments of talent selection, which is kind of cool because your characters are now these very diverse people who've also then suddenly decided, I'm going out and I'm going to make money, or I'm going to save the universe or whatever. Yeah. Tells that story really powerfully. Cool. All right. Pete, Jed, not that I've never run you with anything, and the other guys have all experienced my somewhat random style. Are you good? All good?
Yeah, awesome. All good with that, mate.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Okay, on that note then, I'm going to go and do some shopping at a market for, my requirements. And you guys are all probably going to either have dinner or go to bed. So I will.
I'm going to keep drinking. Don't know about you.
Well, or drink.
Or a drink.
Or a drink.
Have a
see
great
you all next
night,
week then.
Everybody, see you all next weekend, and some of you in the middle of the week, and we'll see you.
See you
Bye,
later.
everybody.
Yeah,
Thank you, Thomas.
Cheers.
No worries. Bye.
Yeah, cheers for GMing, bro.
No worries.